Kevin.
And I'm Diego.
Hi, welcome to the materials section of the project where safety is the #1 priority. So, starting off, we have protective eyewear. We have our glasses that we must have just in case anything happens because our eyes are very important. Second, we'll be also wearing our mask because we are also melting things as well. We must make sure that we don't inhale anything dangerous, especially poisonous stuff. We have our mask as well, and then we also have welding gloves because we are handling really hot materials and we want to make sure that we are keeping our bodies safe. Now, starting off, we are doing sand casting methods, so obviously we will need sand. So we have our nice and red sand to use for sand casting, nice and packed, great quality, great properties to use. Next, we also have our crucible that we need in order to melt everything. So here's our handy dandy crucible, really nice and cute, very small, perfect for us. And then for actual materials, we'll be using aluminum cans. So, why would you do that?
I was supposed to.
Did that seem proper in any way for you?
I mean, it kind of felt right in the moment and it kind of felt good.
But, like, did you ensure, like, the safety of myself at all? Like,
you might want to go find a mirror because you kind of look as safe as you can be right now.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, okay. So we have aluminum cans as our materials that we'll be melting. So we got LaCroix, and then we also got Pepsi. And then in order to handle all this stuff, we also have our tongs here. Really nice and handy. With my little scissors. Boom, boom. And then we'll also be using wooden planks to create our boxes. And then what we're actually casting is we'll be using this cute little wrench that we use for 3D modeling.
In order to make the negative profile for our sand casting, we decided to use additive manufacturing where we 3D printed the wrench. This wrench was made using Inventor where it's 4 inches long, it's 1/8 of an inch thick. It does have 4 1/8 inch radius fillets on all 4 sides. And as this was being printed, it was really interesting to see that it did have to have a little bit of support on the bottom in order to make the space that was later taken off.
As Diego just mentioned, we 3D printed this wrench for our casting project. We custom designed the model specifically for what we needed here, and we made it small because we wanted something simple and straightforward but still functional, and yeah, custom designed. So once we tossed it into the printer, we waited about half an hour and it was good to go. Then we went over to the Fab Lab and started marking on the piece of wood the exact dimensions of the box that we were constructing. And once that was done, we moved over to the saw and started cutting out each of the pieces. In total, there were 9 pieces for the box that we constructed, and it took a couple minutes to go through, but we used proper safety precautions and made sure everything came out nicely. And then we started putting things together with wood screws and made sure to make guide holes before doing that so the wood wouldn't crack. And then we started packing in the casting sand, and it took a little bit of time because you have to pack it in tightly. But once that was done, we recorded a little midpoint checkup, so I'll stop talking now and let you listen. Midpoint checkup right here before we get to casting. So this is the drag. In the drag we have our 3D print right now. We're going to pull that out to actually make the negative space for the cast. And then over here we have the cope top part. And in the cope we have the sprue and the riser. So this is the sprue right here, and the riser, we'll pull this out in a second. But once we put them both on top of each other, we can move right over to casting, drop the metal in, and everything will work out nicely. So we'll swap over now. So we melted some aluminum scrap in the furnace provided by the machine shop, and then we started casting. And I'll stop talking because it's really nice audio, so just listen. So yeah, that was casting, and now Layla will end off the video for us.
This here is our finished product that we made using sand casting with the foundry here at the Fab Lab. We had to file down a lot of it using the metal bandsaw and metal file, so it's a little rough around the edges. I think if we were to do this again in the future, we would make sure that the cope and drag were very much sealed together, because as you saw, a lot of the metal spilled out. We would also make it bigger to make sure that we don't get a lot of these fine details that make it look really rough. And I think we would also like to standardize the size so that this could actually be used in applications on different screws and bolts.